Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick 9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking about the 1960s television show Get Smart. More specifically, the episode called Back to the Old Drawing Board, Season 1, Episode 19. Before I get into it, liking, commenting, and subscribing is truly the best way to support my channel. I know so many of you watch my videos all the time and are not subscribed. You really should. It's free to do so. It really helps out my channel, and there's no other way for me to continue doing and making these videos, keeping them free, unless you do comment, like, and of course are a subscriber to the channel. So it really does mean a lot to me. So as I mentioned, this episode is a really unique one. It aired January of '66, in which we have the first appearance of the character Jaime. Now he is introduced to Control as Chaos itself is trying to kidnap a Control scientist. Now it's a very interesting episode. This is one of 6 appearances of the character Jaime, who is played by the very interesting actor Dick Gautier. Now what was interesting about it is that for me, I felt like I've seen him so much on the show, and the fact that there's only 6 appearances by this character is truly mind-blowing. I don't know why I feel like this robot character went on for so long, but no, nonetheless, just 6 of them. Now, there are always scenes in television shows like this that are hard to film, especially because this was the 1950s, 60s, this show being in the 60s, but I mean shows like I Love Lucy in the 50s, it was really hard to show a couple sleeping in the same bed. A TV show like this, other things were difficult, even in the 1960s, to see a man kissing another man. And that is what we have in this episode. We have 2 characters inside a closet. They're talking to each other, and one kisses the other. There's a little bit of foreshadowing beforehand where you see Don Addams go behind Dick, and you can see it almost looks like a kiss, but it's not really a kiss, but it kind of foreshadows that later on there would be a real kiss, but this time by Dick Gautier's character Jaime. Now, what is kind of shocking is that there is a cheek kiss in this episode, but it was so hard to film. In fact, it was one of the scenes which probably wasn't going to be able to be put into the episode. Why? Because it was so hard for Don Addams and so hard for Dick Gautier to kind of get that scene done. They both had to have a straight face, no laughs, no snickering. One because he was a robot, and the other one because it was just not part of the humor. I mean, the joke was that both of them had to be serious, and the cheek kiss, while given by Jaime to Maxwell Smart, it was right on the cheek, but what they did, they added a little bit of a sound effect, a dubbing, an audio dub later on of a right, because they probably didn't even make contact, or they did make very light contact but with no sound. And so the idea was they wanted to have us, the audience, realize that there was a kiss in the frame of the story. Now, think about that. We see married couples on TV shows in the 50s who kiss each other all the time. I Love Lucy, others as well, but honeymooners and so forth. But you don't see something like this, a man kissing another man. Yes, not necessarily on the lips, but also on the cheek. Even Gilligan's Island was a little bit shy to do cheek kisses and mouth kisses, but they were there. And so this scene probably wasn't going to be put in the episode. They probably rethought it. They said, maybe we can't put it in this episode because it really was that difficult. They had so many multiple takes to try to get this scene right, and it was a headache because the director, Bruce Bilson, had to do take after take until they finally were able to figure out and put this kiss in, basically until they came up with the final take. Now, I want to know your thoughts down below. Again, this is the mid-60s, 1966. Do you know of another television show where you see a man kiss another man on the cheek like this? But remember, I think part of the story and what made it slide for most audiences was the fact that it made sense in the story. If it would have been just a regular guy and another guy, it probably wouldn't have worked. It wouldn't even been allowed. But the idea is, hey, in the frame of the story, this is a robot kissing a man, and the robot doesn't even know what it's doing. It's like a little malfunction in the program, and so it wouldn't be a normal thing. And so Star Trek does this later on. I'm not going to get into that, but they do that with female and female kisses. We can even talk about Star Trek in terms of we have a white character with a black character. Anyway, it's just an interesting anecdote to note how they were able to figure this out and make it. I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Have you seen this episode, and what do you think about this kiss? Was it as crazy as you think, or let me know if you probably didn't think too much of it, but now that we're analyzing it, you're like, yeah, this is kind of scandalous for 66. A man to kiss another man, but in the frame of the story, it makes sense, right? So I'd love to see your comments down below. Again, always in all good fun. We're just always trying to look at these TV shows, remember, have some nostalgia about them, and I just love doing it. Just discussing these shows is so much fun. We'll see y'all next time. Don't forget to stay positive, and most importantly, be hopeful. Thank you so much to my Patreon supporters, especially my Diamond tier patrons. David D, Jerry D, Citizen Kane 359, Kevin K, Russ C, Sally N, and Vito L. If you want to be on this patron list, make sure to check out the links in the description below. Thanks so much.